What's up, everybody? Thank you for clicking on the link. This is Fair Play, here finally with the review for Greenleaf Season 2, Episode 6 and 7. Well, it depends on how long I go with Episode 6, whether or not I'm going to attach 7 to this one as well. But anyway, let's start with Episode 6, shall we? It is entitled The Royal Family. And as we already know, Sophia, the episode starts off with Sophia. Sophia is begging Gigi to give her the application fee money to apply to a local college. I forget the name of it. It's a religious college there in Memphis that she wants to go to because it's got a beautiful campus and everything. And she wants to go. She wants to take up religious studies, of course. But Gigi is against her going to this school. She's trying to get Sophia to actually apply at some colleges in other places so that she can, broaden her horizon. She wants her to open her mind. Basically, Gigi does not want Sophia to follow in her footsteps. Sophia thinks that Gigi is trying to get rid of her, but no, Gigi is just, solely against her doing anything that's got something to do with religion right now. Okay. Meanwhile, Zora is over at her house begging Jacob and Clarissa to let her invite that Isaiah boy to Sophia's upcoming Sweet 16 birthday party. Clarissa is totally against it, of course, because of how Zora has behaved, lying and sneaking around and everything. But Jacob finally agrees to let Zora invite him. Okay. Meanwhile, y'all, I'm going to be saying meanwhile a lot because there's a lot of stuff going on meanwhile on this episode. Then you got Kevin and Charity. Aaron is, of course, Charity's lawyer because Lady Mae has recruited him for that purpose. And they are at one of their initial divorce meetings. And Kevin and Charity are going to be responsible. This is what came out of it. Kevin and Charity will be responsible for their own debt that was incurred during the marriage. They will have joint custody of baby Nathan. Charity now wants Kevin to have the baby more often. This came up. This is something new that she brought up during the meeting. She says she has some things that's changed. And she basically wants Kevin to keep the baby more often so that she can spend more time in Nashville. If y'all remember from like 2 episodes ago, Jabari told her he wanted her to come to Nashville maybe 2 or 3 times a month so she could do some writing. But now she's going to be spending more time. And Kevin's lawyer says that this could possibly be a blessing for him. And she tells Kevin to look for God in the situation. And Kevin got smart with the lawyer. He told her, I'm looking. And of course, he kind of made the lawyer feel uncomfortable when he said that. But Kevin gets mad and he actually gets up and leaves. Well, before he leaves, he tells her, so you want to spend more time with Jabari. And of course, she denies it, but he gets up and he leaves. And so the meeting is ended abruptly and they agree to come back later and finish the meeting. Now, meanwhile, Gigi is out shopping for a car and she's got Darius Nash along with her. Gigi tells Darius some stupid story about cavemen working, and it just really didn't make any sense about people working, I guess, and being pastors and working a job at the same time. I'm not really sure where she was going with that story. But Darius asked Gigi out on a date. He actually says to her, what do I have to do to get you in my car tomorrow? And she tells him, I wish I could go, but I can't because it's Sophia's birthday party. So this is obviously on a Friday, and he wants to go out on a date with her on the following Saturday night, but she can't do it because of the party. So then she thinks about it and she's like, well, I haven't invited you to the party, have I? And he says, no, you hadn't, said anything. So she asks him if he wanted to come, and he actually accepts. And then he mentions buying Sophia a gift. He asked Gigi, what should he buy Sophia for a gift? Okay. Meanwhile, Mae is in Charity's office after the meeting, and she's asking Charity about the meeting. She's like, how did it go? So Charity tells Mae that she thinks that Kevin wants sole custody. Never mind that Kevin never even said he wanted sole custody, but that's what she thinks that he wants. Mae is livid, and of course she's like, well, that'll never happen. With Kevin getting sole custody, like she got something to do with it. That ain't even her child. Lady Mae just dips in business she ain't got no business dipping in. She gets on my nerves. She bad. I love Lynn Whitfield in this role, and she plays the devil out of that role. But right now, she dipping in Charity's business like she has been, and especially in this episode, is really taking me somewhere. But anyway, she tells Charity, well, that'll never happen. And so Charity then tells Mae that Kevin is just mad and he probably doesn't want it, but he's angry with her. Mae wants to know why Kevin and Charity are breaking up. She thinks one of them cheated. Charity says that Kevin did nothing wrong. So Mae asks Charity if she's cheating. Is it because of this Jabari dude? And of course, Charity denies that. So Mae keeps pressuring Charity for the truth about why they're breaking up. She's like, why are y'all breaking up? What did this man do to hurt you? Every time Mae talks to Charity about Kevin, she makes it look like Kevin has done something to Charity. It's obviously got to be Kevin's fault because Charity couldn't possibly have done anything wrong. See, that's the way Mae thinks. Okay. And so Charity is sitting there looking. She's trying to avoid telling her what happens, and she gets quiet and she's taking all these deep breaths. And Mae is even using scripture to try to break Charity. So she's going to break her, but they don't show Charity telling her what the real reason is at that moment. The next thing they show is Baze is in his office memorizing scripture. Baze skanks. Jacob comes in and he asks Baze, who is this Bass Reeves person? He's been going through the roads trying to find somebody to donate money for their legal fees pertaining to this injunction that they've got going on with Calvary Baptist. And Basie commends him on his initiative. But Jacob can't get in touch with this Basie man at all. He says he done looked for him everywhere. Every number he tries to call is disconnected, and all the addresses are invalid and everything. And so he continues to ask more questions. So Basie finally tells Jacob a story about the Jack of Hearts. He does some kind of this little card trick that's supposed to be symbolic or something, where he's shifting the cards around and telling Jacob to find the Queen of Hearts. Basie asked Jacob, had Tasha been crying to Clarissa? And Jacob said, yeah. So Basie tells Jacob, he never really did explain what that card trick meant. He said that's the end of the story. But about Bass Reeves, but at that point he didn't tell him who Bass Reeves was. So like I said, he asked Jacob, has Tasha been crying to Clarissa? Jacob said yeah, about money, of course. So Basie tells Jacob about how he had to help out when he was a child, because Basie loves to tell stories. So he tells him about when he was a child and his daddy died, he actually had to go to work to help out around the house, help his mama. So instead of him working at Waffle House like his mama was, because he just flat out refused, he said he watched some man doing something and he finally went into business for himself, whatever that was. I can't remember what it was. But while he's talking to Jacob, he starts a poker hand with Jacob. He asked Jacob, has he ever played? And he asked Jacob, had he ever played? And Jacob's like, yeah, that's my game right there. I can play. So they start playing and Jacob plays well. But Basie wins with this royal flush, or what he calls the royal family. Now Basie tells Jacob that Bass is him, or a part of him. So Jacob thinks he wins all the money. He tells him that Bass is him. Bass is actually, he's got Jacob thinking that Bass is a made-up person, which he technically is. Jacob thinks that Basie wins all of the money that he's laundering into the church by cheating in the poker games, because he just won a game. Basie tells him no. He said doing these fancy tricks could actually get him killed. So Basie and Jacob leave. They go to this men's prayer luncheon that Jacob completely forgot about. After the luncheon, Basie gets a text invite to go play another poker game. And he invites Jacob. I guess loan him the money to play with, or give him the money to play with. And Jacob remembers that he has to go to Sophia's party. But he decides to go ahead and lie to Clarissa and tell her that he has this work thing, this meeting, some kind of donations meeting that he's got. And so he's going to lie to Clarissa. And so Basie asks if they can use Jacob's house. Jacob agrees, and he says he don't have to tell Clarissa everything. And then that old low-down, dirty, sneaky Basie tells him that even God keeps secrets. Everything Basie do wrong, he tries to justify it, and he's going to try to justify it with scripture. All right, so Gigi is on the phone in her office. She's calling her alumni college, okay, which is out of state, to request an application package for Sophia. The bishop walks in. The bishop tells her that Eugenia Davis had called him and told him what transpired with the counseling session that she had with Simone and Preston before the wedding, and what led to her calling it off. And so he asked Gigi what she did to him. And then the bishop wishes that somebody would just call for once and compliment him for having Gigi there on his team as being a beacon of light, a blessing for the church. But he's really disappointed with them. Basically, everybody calling and complaining on Gigi for one reason or another. So Gigi tells him that she's sorry, but that's just not where she is. She's at spiritually. Basically, then backslid. But we all know that Gigi came to Greenleaf in the beginning. Only reason she stayed there was to try to bring Mac to justice. Her sister was dead and she was trying to get Mac put in prison. It had nothing to do with her wanting to preach. That's just the job she took because she needed some money while she was there. Okay? So then the bishop actually dismisses it and tells her not to worry about it. He said he'll take care of Simone and Preston. So Gigi asks him then if she can bring Darius to Sophia's birthday party like she's a child. Now I know it's their house, it's their mansion, but she really does act like a child. She got to ask her parents for permission to bring a date. And they don't like Darius because Darius is a journalist and he's written stories up about the scandals that's been going on at Calvary. So they got something against him. And so the bishop calls him a muckraker. He's like, that muckraker? And he tells her that he'll have to get back with her on that because he's obviously not happy about it. So he's going to ask Lady Mae about it. Meanwhile, Sophia and Zora are out running during PE at school. And all Zora talks about is Isaiah. So Sophia asks Zora to come and help her. She says, you want to come and help me set up my playlist for my party on Saturday? But of course, Zora doesn't have time because she's always needing to be with that little Isaiah boy. I'm telling y'all, if that girl ain't careful, she's going to wind up pregnant. I know I be writing scripts a lot, but most of the time I be right. I hope she doesn't wind up pregnant. I'm going to say that. But then she tells her that she says, well, we'll be at the party on Saturday. So she's going to bring Isaiah. And Sophia seems a little disappointed. She's like, he's coming with you? So Zora mentions something about going to see him to my nose dorm, talking about some conjugal visits. I don't know if y'all caught that, but she said the word conjugal visits. And we all know what conjugal visits mean. So is she really telling us on the slide that she having sex with that boy? Probably so, because she real fast. Anyway, so then, meanwhile, Mae done burst up in the bishop's office at church and she hollers out, Kevin's gay. The bishop is sitting on the opposite side of his desk, just sitting there going through some paperwork. And when she says this, blurts out Kevin's secret, the secretary just so happened to be up under the desk hooking up the Ethernet cable for the bishop because she said his internet is running slow, and she hears everything that Mae says. Mae tells her when she heard her, because they didn't expect her to be there, very awkward, embarrassing moment. Mae tells her, loose lips sink ships. In other words, letting her know, keep your mouth closed, don't you tell nothing. And so the secretary agrees not to say anything. So Mae tells the bishop what Charity told her, and that Kevin's been having some issues and urges, and that he's been going to these fortitude meetings, which is a men's meeting, and she said these men ain't down there to meet women, you know. So she's letting him know, yeah, he's gay. So Mae wants Kevin out of the house and the church immediately. And of course, she feels like he might cause some kind of problems, and she's concerned about scandal and what other people are going to say about him being in the church being gay. And so the bishop disagrees with Mae about that. He's like, that's the child's father. That's that baby's father. Why in the world would we put him out of the church like that? But she insists. The bishop also says that he doesn't want to get involved in any kind of class action lawsuit, and that he has his own issues to deal with right now. And that's when Mae asks him, what's wrong now? Okay? I mean, it's really awkward what's going on. So then the bishop comes out of the office and he runs into Gigi, and he tells Gigi that Mae said no about Darius being able to come to the party. So Gigi tells him, well, thank you for trying, Daddy. Thank you, Daddy, for trying. But he tells her, oh, I didn't try. Because he letting her know I didn't want him to come anyway. So the bishop lets her know that he's against Darius being with her in the first place, and that her being with him is not in God's will. That's what he says. He says it vexes Mae and it insults him that she would even ask to invite Darius to a party at their house. He thinks Gigi is using it as a coming out party. And he says it's wrong for you to use Sophia's birthday party as a coming out party. So that night, Jacob tells Clarissa at home. Now, we at Jacob's house. He tells Clarissa that he can't go to Sophia's party because of a work thing that he's got. Okay? Clarissa's very disappointed. But she's very understanding, and she doesn't fight him on this issue at all. So then it goes to Mae. Mae is still preparing for the party back at the Greenleaf house, and Kevin walks in. Now, Mae has this slick conversation with Kevin about divorce. You know, she talks in code. She'll bring up scripture and everything, and I can't remember everything she said verbatim, but she was slick talking, and she was basically issuing him warnings about divorce. She was basically trying to tell him, do everything you can in your power to try to make your marriage stay together and make it work. And she says she don't want all of the dirty laundry out on the lawn, and she suggests, like I said, trying to stay married for the sake of keeping up appearances. We know how Mae is, and she's warning him about that. I don't want all our business in the street. This could be a scandal, so be very careful about how you handle yourself in this divorce. Matter of fact, if you can stay married, stay married. That's basically what she's saying, and I'm paraphrasing because she said a lot of little crazy things, little funny things in Mae way. Okay. Kevin stands there and he's very perplexed. Because at first he started out okay with what she was saying. Then she went off on a tangent. Okay. So then, meanwhile, Darius calls Gigi and tells her that he bought Sophia a car emergency kit. That's what he got her for her birthday. And Gigi's like, oh, that was so nice of you. Now, remember, by this time, the bishop done told her that he can't come to the party. So she got to break this news to Darius, okay? So Darius noticed that she sounded kind of down in the dumps on the telephone. And he asked, he said, what's the problem? What's wrong? Sound like something's wrong. And she tells him that her parents, well, actually, before she told him, he actually figured out what the problem is. He's like, so they don't want me to come, do they? And she was like, nah, they don't want you to come. And so she asked him, he said, but you want to go to dinner with me on Sunday? She said, my treat. I'll pay for it. And so he stops for a minute and he pauses and he actually breaks up with Gigi. He tells her that we should just be friends. And she's stunned. And he told her that she was like, why? And he says, well, you're a pastor. He says, you're a pastor and I'm never going back to church. That's what he told her. He said basically what he was telling her is he don't have time for the games. We grown people and I shouldn't have to deal with this. So you the pastor, you deal with that, and I'm going to be over here doing my thing. So we'll be friends. And so she's concerned about them not being able to see each other anymore. He's like, yeah, we'll talk from time to time. And he tells her, he said, I'll call you in a couple of days and everything. And so she's sad, and she's actually tearing up on the phone. Little tears are coming out her eyes, and I kind of feel sorry for her, but I understand where Darius Nash is coming from, too. It just don't make sense. There's no way he could be with her if she's so concerned about what her parents think. Okay? Now, so Kevin and Charity are having another divorce meeting. Kevin's not paying any attention at all. The whole time they are at the meeting, he's got his back turned and he's playing with a pen. Totally dope. His mind is somewhere else during the meeting. And the lawyer jumps up and says there are some changes to this decree, a whole bunch of changes that she wasn't expecting. And the changes in the divorce decree include Kevin getting 30% of the marriage trust. Kevin going to get flexible visitation in good faith. And they want Charity to give him, or Charity's going to give him $1,100 a month in child support. And there's this clause in the divorce decree that says, should he ever be terminated by the church, he's prohibited from suing. Much to the lawyer's dismay, she said he's going to have to sign a malpractice waiver in order for her to go along with that. She doesn't want Kevin to do it. She was like, I'm not going to let you do this. And Kevin tells her, I'm not asking you. And so Kevin agrees to it. He just wants to get it over with. He's like, whatever, just where do I sign? I'm sick of this. But Charity is mad because Charity did not know that this firing clause was in her divorce decree. This is something May and had Aaron sneak over in there. Now, see, that's crooked and it's wrong. May has no business putting things in other people's divorce decrees. She out of order. She done stepped over the line with that one. Okay, she being real low down to Kevin, and Kevin has always been a good son-in-law to her. Okay, and he's been a good husband to Charity too. But Charity gets mad. She's like, no, I can't go along with this. She was like, no way. So they didn't get anything signed that day either, even though Kevin was ready to sign. Kevin was like, whatever, I don't care. Give me the paper, let me sign. I'm sick of this. Let's just get this over with. But nothing gets signed at that point either. So Kevin gets up and he leaves the meeting. Charity runs behind him and tells him that she did not know about the firing clause. Kevin tells her that he knows that she told her parents about his issue, about the homosexuality. He gives her his wedding ring back. He was like, you told them, didn't you? And she was like, I'm sorry. He took his wedding ring off and he gave it back to her and he walked off. She walking away looking all dismayed and whatnot. Okay? So now it's the night of Sophia's party. Once Clarissa leaves her house, Jacob calls Basie immediately to let him know that the coast is clear. Then they back at Charity and Kevin. Charity and Kevin are back at the mansion in their dressing room in their area of the house, getting dressed. Charity compliments Kevin on the color of his suit. She's like, that's a good color for you. And he looks at her and he says, thank you. Well, no, he didn't. He ignores her. And he's getting ready to walk out. And then he turns around and says, you know what? You can stop acting like everything is cool between us. Okay? He tells her that because of you, because of you telling your mom that I'm gay, everybody's going to think that it's true. And we know how news spread and how gossip spread in small towns. Okay? Memphis is not that big. Everybody know everybody. See, Charity is trying to be Kevin's friend after she done filed for divorce and everything, and she wouldn't listen to the man. I understand how Charity feels, but the way she's handling him when this man is doing right by her, all she heard was him say he had issues or struggles with homosexuality, and she shut down on him. She didn't hear anything else the man said after that. She didn't even give him a chance to explain himself. And if she had continued to listen, she would have heard him say that I've been faithful to you. I've never been with a man. He loves Charity. He wants Charity. That's the reason why he was still trying to be intimate with her, because he loves her. I mean, should he not have told her what he was struggling with? A real woman would try to pray with him. But no, Charity is just handling it like a little girl. And that's what gets me. That's why I don't care much for her character on this show. Okay? So anyway, this same night of the party, Sophia brings her new boyfriend to meet Gigi, the little guy that she met at the Christian conference back where her and Zora snuck out of and she covered for her. She brought that little guy to him and she introduced him to Gigi. And Gigi realized the reason why Sophia more than likely wants to go to this Bible college is because that young boy is going, and his mother is actually got some big role in the church, like she's the dean or something of the school. So Gigi understands. She's like, so she decides to give Sophia the application fee so that she can apply for the college. Of course, Sophia is ecstatic. All right, so Charity comes up to Gigi after Sophia walks away, and she notices that Sophia has a boyfriend. She's like, ooh, Sophia got a new boyfriend. And Gigi's like, yeah, I'm not ready for that, but yeah. So Gigi asks her how she's doing concerning the divorce, and Charity kind of gets a little bit defensive. She's like, what you talking about? Everything fine. What do you mean? Because she probably thinks that Gigi knows all the tea about Kevin being gay, and about why they're divorcing. But Gigi doesn't know. Gigi been so caught up trying to track Mac down and get Mac in trouble, she ain't had time to find out nothing from Mae anyway. Then the next thing you see, Charity walks away. So Clarissa, Zora, and the little boy finally arrive at the party. And when the bishop and Mae see that Jacob is not with them, because of course he's there playing poker with Basie Skanks in them, they ask where he's at. Clarissa tells him that he had this work thing, okay? Of course, Mae doesn't believe it, neither does the bishop, but she don't, because Mae doesn't trust Basie, and she figures that if Jacob is with him, they up to no good. Considering this injunction thing and everything, Jacob probably don't want to come because of that, but really because she knows how Basie is and she doesn't trust him, okay? So then Kevin is standing off by himself at the party, just looking off and wandering off into nowhere at the party, and Aaron walks up to him and joins him, and he apologizes to Kevin about the meeting earlier. And Kevin started to walk away. He's like, whatever. And he started to walk away. And when he gets ready to walk away, Gigi comes up and catches both of them and asks them both to go outside, please, and get Sophia's new car and pull it around. So she gives Kevin the keys to the car. She says it's a two-man's job, okay? So then you see back at the house, at Jacob's house, there's Jacob, Basie, and all the fellas, they playing poker. Basie almost loses to the other dude at the table, but he somehow manages to win big. He starts talking trash using scripture like he always does, and he tells Jacob not to ever doubt him. Jacob is like, how in the world did he win? He's like, how did you do it? So anyway, and they leave from the party. So Basie wins big. So back at the party, Kevin and Aaron are outside getting the new car, and they're actually putting a bow on the car together, but they're having small talk. And at some point in the night, as they're doing everything, they're putting the bow on the car, they're having a little small talk, a little chit chat about things. Aaron tells Kevin, he says, when all of this mess blows over with the divorce and everything, he says, if you ever need somebody to talk to, I'll be there for you. And at this point, I'm still thinking that maybe Aaron is gay and that he is trying to, that's his way of trying to work his way up on getting with Kevin. So he tells him, you can talk to me anytime you want. And Kevin tells him, thank you, man. Thanks for that. So the next thing you see in the house, Sophia is opening up her presents, and she gets to the last one. And the last one is a little box. And when she opens it up, it's the keys to her new car, honey. And she's so excited. And they run outside. When they run outside, Zora suggests that her, Sophia, and the two boys, Isaiah and her and Sophia's little boyfriend, jump in the car and take it for a spin. Surprisingly, Clarissa and Gigi actually agreed to let her. It's at night, but they tell her, make sure you come back by 11 o'clock, okay? So then they're back at Jacob's house. Jacob and Basie, after the poker game, Basie tells Jacob how to sneak the money into the offering. They send up counting up all the cash, and it's a lot of money. It looks like several $1,000s that Basie has actually won in this game. So he tells him to sneak the money, gonna put it in the envelope, write the word Bass Reeves on it, and put it in the offering bucket. So Jacob asked Basie, what about the law? What about God's law? Aren't you concerned about that? And if he asked Basie, is he really okay with what he's doing? Basie, of course, makes up this skewed justification by twisting scripture like he always does. He says that he's dependent on God and not luck. And since the money's going back into the church, that makes it okay. He's just slick. Okay? Why he can't just say he play a poker game, I don't know. But the problem is he using the church's money. That's what the problem is. So back at the Greenleaf mansion after the party, while the maids are cleaning up, Charity walks up to Mae and tells her, Charity done changed this season, y'all. She wearing her tight skirts and leather and zippers, and she just done got her grown woman on this season, y'all. Just very different from old drab Charity from last season. But anyway, she walks up to her mom. Her mama automatically knows something is wrong. She's like, oh, what I done did now. And Charity tells her, she says, I'm not going to let you fire Kevin. She says, I don't know why you put this clause in that divorce, but I'm not going to let you fire him. He's the father of my child. And Mae tells her she has no immediate plans to do so. Mae tells her that she's trying to protect the family and the church. And Charity tells her that she still feels bad about the way that they did Carlton, the guy that was over the choir. They put him out the church. She fired him. And she says she's not going to allow Mae to do that to the father of her child. So then you see back at Jacob's house, Clarissa arrives home and finds Jacob researching Bass Reeves on the computer. And he found out that he was this black gunslinger in the 1800s. So Clarissa starts complaining when Jacob asks about the party. He's like, oh, the bishop was this, Mae was that, and the house was not this one, meaning that they still got that beautiful house and we living in this old ugly house, because we know Clarissa hates that house. So Jacob tells her, well, we'll be out of this one soon enough. And she says, basically the sooner the better. And he gets up and he leaves. And so Clarissa looks up under the table and she finds a $100 bill that fell down there from the poker game. And she's looking strange, like, where did this come from? Isn't it possible that man could have $100 on him? I guess not. Okay. And I got a question. Why they having money problems like that? They're not paying no house note. And is not Clarissa not the head mistress, or is she not the principal of a private school? I know she's making good money. So what's the problem? I don't understand. Somebody tell me in the comments what's going on with their finances. Okay. Plus he's getting a check too. So why are they having so many problems financially? Anyway, they should be able to afford their own house. Or at least to get the lights done at that one. I don't know what's going on with them. Anyway, back at with Zora and Sophia. Sophia and Zora go to a bowling alley because that was the plan. Okay. So Zora, of course, with her sneaky self, she goes up to Sophia and asks her, she's like, hey, I don't want to go bowling. Do you want to go to the Row, which is apparently some club, some team or whatever, some kind of club in the area? And Sophia is like, no, I'm not going. And she actually goes off on Zora about spending so much time with Isaiah and letting Isaiah control her and tell her what to do. Zora gets mad with her and she's like, I would never do to you what you're doing to me right now. You know how she is. So Zora says, she's like, you mind if I go? She's like, yes, I mind. But anyway, after Sophia went off on her, Zora decides to go with Isaiah anyway, without Sophia. She gets mad with Sophia for not liking what she's about to do. If I was Sophia, I would have called her mom and told on her. She gonna get mad with her anyway. I believe I would have told on her behind, because when she went off with him, like I told you, ain't no telling what she was doing. She even told Sophia that she'll get her a beer for her birthday. Now, what's she doing drinking beer? Just so disrespectful. So anyway, back at the Greenleaf mansion, Gigi finds the bishop in his home office putting an inscription in the Bible that he has given to Sophia. Gigi mentions the fact that the bishop gave her and Sophia a Bible, but he never gave one to Faith, Charity, or Jacob. And she doesn't want Sophia following in her footsteps. The bishop tells Gigi that actually Sophia came to him and said that she wanted to teach the little saints, just like Faith did now. Gigi says, well, Sophia didn't tell her that, and the bishop told her that that's probably because she was scared to tell you for fear that you were going to discourage her from doing it. So the bishop tells Gigi that it's a shame that Sophia's own mother looks at her Christian desires as a sickness, and of course Gigi denies that. The bishop asks Gigi what's it going to take for her to come back into the sheepfold, because he knows she done backslid. You know, they figure when you leave church or when you don't do what you're supposed to do in church, you done backslid. And so Gigi says that she's seeing Matt get put away will bring her back. The bishop tells her that vengeance is the Lord's, and that if she tries to take the will from God, she'll find herself in a ditch real quick. And he kisses her on the forehead. And he told her right. Vengeance is the Lord. Mac done been he's going through what he's going through with the legal system. And Gigi really needs to kind of just let it go, because it's consuming her. It's consuming her. If he's not doing right, he'll get his. He'll get it. Okay, it'll catch up with him. Anyway, Gigi weeps when the bishop is hugging her and he kisses her on the forehead. She's weeping because she feels powerless. She has no control over the situation. And I just thought about this while she was talking to the bishop, because he gets up and he leaves out. And he just tells her to be still. Just, rest. All right. And so he told her to think about it. He said, think on these things. But you know what? Sophia, do y'all think that Sophia is trying to be like Faith, how she was? Is this Sophia's way of being close to her Aunt Faith, who she didn't really know that well? We remember in last season, Sophia listened at a lot of Faith's old recordings, and she watched a lot of her old videos. She was watching one of her videos this season, watching the dance video where her, Gigi, and all of them had their little music group. Gigi is thinking that everything is about her and that Sophia is trying to be like her. But no, Sophia's not trying to be like her. Sophia is trying to be like Faith. She's really trying to be like her Aunt Faith. And I don't know if Gigi realizes that or not. She's really trying to channel her aunt. So anyway, I just want to know what y'all think about that. There's a lot of things going on in this episode, but it is so good. It's such a good show. Kevin and Charity's situation, I don't know if he's going to wind up with Aaron or not. But it's just a lot going on. Yeah, so let me know what y'all think about that. All right, click like for me, thumbs up for me, please. Give me your commentary, because I know I said a whole lot, but I didn't hone in on anything. I just let you know, boom, 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 what happened in the episode. All right, y'all. See you on the next video. Because this is 31 minutes, I'm actually going to do part 7 or episode 7 in another video. All right, see you later. Bye-bye.